passwords?
Make my sleigh.
Santa Claus is back, and somehow Christmas has become even more violent. The first trailer for Violent Night brings David Harbour back as the deadliest Santa on screen. But this time, he is not fighting alone. Kristen Bell joins the chaos as Mrs. Claus, and judging by the footage, the North Pole now has people capable of ruining a criminal's holiday season. The original Violent Night worked because it understood exactly what kind of movie it wanted to be. It mixed the structure of Die Hard with Christmas mythology, dark comedy, and brutally creative action. Harbour Santa was exhausted, cynical, and disappointed in humanity, but he still found a reason to care. That gave the movie more heart than its ridiculous premise suggested. The sequel appears to reverse that idea. Santa has not completely recovered from what happened before. According to the new story, he has lost some of his magic and his faith in humanity, and somehow he has ended up on the naughty list himself. If he can save one person, he may be able to recover both. That is a surprisingly emotional setup for a movie whose trailer includes people being attacked with Christmas decorations. The main location is now a shopping mall during the holiday season. It is an obvious but clever choice. Modern Christmas has become inseparable from crowded stores, artificial snow, endless advertisements, and exhausted people trying to buy the perfect gift. Placing a disillusioned Santa inside that environment gives the movie room to mock the commercial side of the holiday while still delivering large-scale action. It also turns the mall into a giant Christmas-themed weapons cabinet. The trailer makes it clear that director Tommy Wirkola is not holding back. We see a violent sleigh sequence, improvised weapons, kitchen equipment being used in ways it was never designed for, and several moments that are almost difficult to watch. One of the most disgusting shots appears to involve a piece of skin being cut from a man's forehead in the shape of a gingerbread cookie. Another criminal is covered in baking ingredients and pushed toward an oven while Santa comments on how good everything smells. That is exactly the kind of ugly, ridiculous creativity the first movie became known for. The violence is extreme, but it is built around holiday imagery, which makes every kill feel like a twisted joke. The biggest new addition is Mrs. Claus. Kristen Bell is a smart casting choice because she can move between warmth, sarcasm, and comedy without losing the energy of a scene. The trailer suggests she will not simply wait at the North Pole. She joins the fight. That immediately changes the dynamic. Santa spent much of the first movie emotionally isolated, but now the sequel can explore what his marriage actually looks like. Mrs. Claus may understand his frustration better than anyone, but she may also be the person most capable of challenging him. I am especially interested in whether the movie gives her a different fighting style. Santa is presented like an old warrior who relies on strength, experience, and whatever heavy object is nearby. Mrs. Claus could be faster, more strategic, or even more dangerous because criminals will underestimate her. The trailer also introduces a new villain played by Jared Harris. He appears to lead a group of gangsters threatening the mall, although the exact plan remains unclear. We do not yet know why this location matters, what they want, or why killing Santa becomes part of the mission. The story details are honestly a little confusing, but that may not matter as much as it would in a more serious action movie. Audiences are not arriving for a realistic criminal operation. They are arriving to watch Santa and Mrs. Claus destroy gangsters with holiday-themed weapons. Still, the sequel needs a strong reason for the conflict. The first movie used a family hostage situation to give Santa someone specific to protect. This time, the idea of redemption appears more personal. Santa is not only saving innocent people, he is trying to prove that he still deserves to be Santa. That could give the movie a stronger emotional center than the trailer suggests. If he has truly lost his magic, then every action scene may become more dangerous. He cannot simply rely on supernatural abilities. He has to rediscover why the role matters. The naughty list concept also raises several questions. Santa is normally the person responsible for deciding who belongs on that list. So how did he end up there? Was the system manipulated? Did someone at the North Pole turn against him? Or is the list controlled by something older and more powerful than Santa himself? The trailer does not explain it, but that mystery could become one of the movie's most entertaining ideas. A magical judgment system turning against the person who represents Christmas opens the door to a much larger mythology. The returning creative team gives me confidence that the sequel understands the appeal. Tommy Mercola is back as director, while Pat Casey and Josh Miller return as writers. That continuity matters because Violent Night had a very specific tone. It could move from sincere Christmas emotion to savage violence without completely falling apart. The cast also includes Joe Pantoliano, Daniela Melchior, Andrew Bachelor, and professional wrestler Maxwell Friedman, better known as MJF. That is an interesting combination of veteran character actors, action performers, comedy talent, and someone who already understands how to make exaggerated violence feel theatrical. The mall setting may allow the sequel to become much larger than the first movie without losing the contained structure. Different stores can become separate action environments. A toy store, food court, department store, movie theater, and holiday display all offer unique possibilities. The trailer already hints that the filmmakers understand this. Instead of repeating the mansion from the original, the sequel creates a public space filled with potential victims, witnesses, decorations, and improvised weapons. The challenge will be balancing spectacle with character. The first Violent Night was not only memorable because of the kills, it worked because Harbour made Santa feel tired, angry, and strangely human. If the sequel becomes nothing more than a collection of Christmas murders, it could lose the emotional reason audiences cared. Mrs. Claus may be the solution. Their relationship can reveal who Santa was before he became bitter and what he still has to lose. If Belle and Harbour have strong chemistry, the marriage could become the heart of the movie. There is also something funny about the idea that Santa must rediscover the meaning of Christmas inside a show. Ping Mall. It is the least magical version of the holiday, surrounded by sales signs, artificial decorations, and corporate music. If the movie wants to criticize how commercial Christmas has become, it has chosen the perfect battlefield. Violent Night arrives in theaters on December 4th, 2026. I want to know what you think about this first trailer. Does Kristen Bell look like the perfect Mrs. Claus? And can the sequel become even better than the original? More importantly, what Christmas object do you think Santa will turn into a weapon next? Because if the trailer proves anything, it is that the criminals inside this mall are not trapped with Santa. Santa and Mrs. Claus are trapped with them.